we're gonna do a day in the life of a homeschooler. This is my son Nathan.
Hello.
And so every day we start our homeschool, by having breakfast. So today it's scrambled eggs and toast. Here you go. And then the next thing we're gonna do is read aloud. So I'll show you how that works too. So this is our homeschool adventure, homeschool journey. So hope you can follow us and see how we do this. So here we are. Nathan is finishing his breakfast. I finished my breakfast, and we are now going to do our read aloud thing. So I got all my books. So a lot of parents or homeschoolers have a basket. It's very handy. We used to have that when I had my three boys doing homeschool with me. I have two now who are in high school, and I only have Nathan left, and he's doing middle school with me. And his last year of elementary, he's in 5th grade, and he's gonna do middle school with me, and then he'll be sent off to the very capable hands of public high school charter here where we live. So our homeschool read aloud time is now, and at the minute we are also in a book club at the local library, and we are reading Charlotte's Web. So we're halfway through, and I started reading the first few chapters, and now Nathan is reading the rest of the chapters. So while he's reading, I'm doing coloring. So I have a little book of coloring that my husband got me for my birthday last year. And while I'm reading, Nathan do his coloring. So those are great books. They're called Creative Copycat Coloring. They're by Barron's. You find them in Michael's, and they're great because they don't have to create their drawing if they don't like drawing. They just have to color and copy the coloring of one page, like this one here. Nathan's great at showing everything. Thank you. And for me, I like coloring. You can do your knitting. Sometimes I do my crocheting as well while we're doing the reading. So those are the few books that we're reading during read aloud. I don't know if it's going to be in the right way around, but hopefully it will. We're reading Black Boy Joy. It's a great few little stories about young black boys who are now all authors. And they have all those stories compact into this one book from different Black American writers, and they're really great. Another thing that I'm reading a lot, it's by Kenneth C. Davis. So I have the American History book, I have Planet Earth book, or I have another one as well, a science book. So those are books about I don't read the whole book. I just read the question and answer about everything. This one is our desert like desserts. And then so those are kind of funny stories, and the American History is great. The science book is great. So those are, I have a sticker, and these are my Tuesday book. And so I would read Monday book, it'll be 3 or 4 questions. Tuesday book, it'll be 2 or 3 questions as well. Another book that I intend to read after we finish Charlotte's Web is Red, White, and Whole by Rajan La Roca. They're great books. They are recommended by the Brave Writer system. So if you follow Brave Writer, I think it's in this year list. And then I have another one. It's called Heroes for My Son by Brad Meltzer. They're great books about little stories about the hero of this new generation, and hopefully, and there's a little say about why they are heroes. It's only a couple of pages. So, and then Nathan also read Julius Caesar, who was in the Who Was series. This one is Julius Caesar, they're great books, and same, we only read one chapter. So by the end of our read aloud, we're doing all of this. So we do like maybe 45 minutes of read aloud, but it's really worth it because you get to read a little bit of everything, and by the end of the year, you've gone through 4 or 5 books without even noticing. Plus, this, for example, I only read when I have time because I like the stories and I want to finish the chapter. So for a day, it was like a little longer, you know, you have less to do on that day. Maybe you read a chapter book and you read a full chapter of those, or a little story. The Julius Caesar, we read one chapter. Nathan does the reading because he's in 5th grade, but when they're younger kids, you just do the reading for them. But Nathan does the reading, and that's when I do my coloring. Charlotte's Web, as I said, I started reading the few first chapter, but now he likes the story, so he wants to read it, and he's reading it while I'm doing my coloring. But while I'm reading, he does his own coloring. So we have our little markers here, our coloring markers here, our coloring books over here, and we have all our books. Oh, here's a more, this is a don't know much about series. So we have the 50 states, so you know, you could do like one state a day. And then same for the president, don't know much about the presidents. And this would be also, it's also by Kenneth C. Davis. It's a whole series of don't know much about. And same, you do one president a day. And then we have the solar system as well. So this is part of the science book. So those are books I'm reading, and I would read like 3 or 4 questions of it, or one president, or one state. And then that's what we do. So we're gonna get started, and I'll catch up with you after that. Tree toad, and the occasional slamming of the kitchen door. All these sounds made him feel comfortable. Hi there. So, like all homeschool, there's always a snag and something to do. So I actually have a doctor appointment at 11:30, so I have to leave now around 10:30 to get there. But my husband's downstairs, so Nathan's not gonna stay on his own, don't worry. And he's working, and in the meantime, while we finished our read aloud, we are now going to do school. So usually we do math, but because of this morning of my appointment, we moved a little bit, we do a little differently. And Nathan is going to do what I call his own work, which is at the minute is IXL. So he's working on his IXL right now. And then I also left him a couple of books to do on his own while I'm away. So he's going to do his IXL exercise and what he's supposed to do. And then he has those books. So I've made folders with literally just, you know, those workbook that you find in the shops. So he can do his reading skills on his own, and he also can do more reading skills. So I have 2 reading skill books that I put together in one folder. So this is his reading skill folder. He has 2 page to read and 2 page of question to answer. And then he has his language art book. Same, I put it in a folder because I combined 2 of the English language art workbook that you find in shops for his level. He's in 5th grade. And in this one, you have, he has to understand the concept of abstract and concrete nouns. So he has to read the lesson and do the exercise. And I put him yellow stickers so he knows exactly what to do today, and he knows that when I come back from the doctor, I will verify what he's done and what he hasn't done. And so he knows that so I know that for 45 minutes, an hour, he's taken care of, And also he's going to put a timer for his IXL, so he knows he has 40 minutes to do IXL. He has his little phone, and he's going to do his timer. And then I can go to the doctor right now and come back, and I know that he's done some homework and some schoolwork. This is the real life of a homeschooler. Sometimes there's things we have to do, like going to the doctor. I can't bring him. I could bring him and do things with him, but I found that it's better if he stays home, especially when my husband's here. So today I'm not bringing him, but sometime I do bring him, and we bring a book with us, and we do more read aloud when we're at the waiting room, or sometimes some coloring, or again, or some different books. So I hope I'm not getting you too dizzy. I'm moving too much, but this is the idea. So to get him to do his work, or bringing a book when we're in a waiting room for a doctor or dentist. That's the real life of homeschooler. We you adapt to what your days throw at you. So I'll be back in about an hour and a half, and I'll catch up with him, and I'll catch up with you. Hi there, so I'm at my appointment, but I wanted to clarify a couple of things because I thought maybe people would be worried about Nathan. Nathan is 11. He's gonna be 11, and he's been homeschooling for since he was a little baby. So I also homeschool my other two for 9 years. So way before the COVID situation, where a lot of homeschooler came on board, he homeschooled with his two bigger brothers for all these years, and this is the first year he's doing it on his own. So I don't want people to worry about his socialization. He has his martial art with his dad and other kids every other night, and then on Thursday morning and Friday morning we both go to the library. I've created a mini co-op, so that on Thursday morning and Friday morning we do activities such as a Lego class, and a STEM class, and a board game, chess club, Lego club. So, and then we have a book club as well. So he's meeting other children of his age, so he's plenty socialized. This is a very rare occurrence where I have to go mid-morning to go to a doctor appointments, but in the life of a homeschooler it does happen. So like you guys have like people who don't homeschool, they take appointments as well for doctors. It's the same way. Sometimes we have to miss an hour work, or we try to go at lunchtime, and this is the same idea. I couldn't move that appointment, so I have to go to this appointment now. And that will happen. So most of the time I bring him with me, and he usually either play on his phone, or I make him read a book, or we bring a toy or a game and we'll play, or he brings his cards. We love playing cards too. So this is the kind of thing that we would do together when we had an appointment. So he's happy. He's not he's very social, he has a very social life. Also his brothers are coming every week, after school every day, and they play with him, and at the weekend he play with their friends, and they play board game and video games, and he's got a lot of people online that he can play with as well. He's got cousin living not far away from us, so he's plenty social. Yeah, so this is now my appointment, and then I'll go back at home, have lunch with him and his dad, and then we'll start our afternoon. And again, this is a very unusual day, but it is the day in the life of homeschooling. And at 3 p.m. I have to bring my second child over to the dentist. So I have to pick him up at school and then bring him to the dentist. and that's gonna take an hour and a half of my life and of our homeschool day. So this is a moment where I might tell him, hey, watch a Disney movie, or you can watch a documentary, and he loves documentary about dinosaurs and animals and stuff like that. So that's what we might do. Anyway, gotta go now to my appointment. I'll catch with you in a few minutes. Bye. So here we are, we back. I'm back from my doctor appointment, and we're having lunch. So it's just pot noodle today, because that's what Nathan wanted. And I'm having a salad and a pot noodle. And Nathan did his IXL online.
Yes.
Did you?
Yes.
And then some writing exercise on this language heart part. And I'm gonna have to go actually. So Nathan is gonna watch a documentary this afternoon. Yeah. And then I'll be back in an hour, and then because I have to bring Jake to the dentist. So that's what's happening. So another little note, Nathan at lunchtime and I, we every day we watching Crash Course and our and CNN 10, and then so it's a great little YouTube show that, well, CNN 10 is great because it's news for children and for teenager and for middle schoolers. I think a middle school is a great age to start watching news in general, and CNN 10 is great because it's really facts orientated, and it's also great because it's dissect news that are not always on the news outlet about animals and zoo and things like that, or space exploration or things like that. And then Crash Course is great for everything. So if you're a homeschooler and if you don't know about Crash Course on YouTube, you should try to find out about it, because there's all levels. There are younger children and older children access. Nathan, not now, love. And there's so Crash Course. You watch a lot of Crash Course in elementary years,
Yes,
didn't you?
I did.
You
And
like them? Yeah, there's a lot of information about everything: history, American history, world history. There's chemistry, biology, physics, mathematics, and then in upper years, if you homeschool your high schoolers, there's things about psychology and theater and cinema and all sorts of topics that are ultra interesting. And so I really recommend it. It's a great way of putting a little bit of knowledge in your children's head on an easy way. So anyway, I'm gonna go now get Jake to go to his dentist appointment, and I'll be back after. And Nathan, in the meantime, is gonna watch a documentary. So we'll chat to you later. Hi, so there we back from the dentist, and Nathan and me are gonna start working on Story of the World. So Story of the World is a book by Susan Weisbauer. She's the author of it's a 4-book series. We're on volume 2, which is the Middle Age. And it really applies to all, it's a good group, knowledge-based, shareable in your homeschool with different age group in your class. So for example, my middle schoolers and my elementary schoolers were able to work on it together. In this book, there's a test book, kind of question and answer books that you can actually grade if you want to. There's a book of just this different chapter and different information. So, for example, there's a chapter about the early days of Britain, the Great Dynasty of China. This is all medieval times, so the first kings of England, and then there's the King of France and Spain and Portugal. It's the story of the world in this term. There's something about the plague, which she calls the end of the world. There's stories about the kingdom of the Franks, which is the French time, the medieval Indian Empire. So it really covers Asia, everywhere, even Africa, which is kind of rare in some of the books. So the story of the world is great. It's volume 2. So there's this book, there's the test book, which is at the end, and there's what they call exercise book, an activity book they call it. And the first part of the book is basically the parent guide on how to use the book, and it comes with review questions. So you read the book, and then there's review question. There's a narration exercise that the kids can either do copy work if they're not ready, or you can dictate it and make it a dictation exercise. And then after that, there's additional history reading if you want to go further in the reading of it. And there's a corresponding literature suggestion if you want to advise for books for people who are really book reader, bookworm. They can actually use this. And then after that, there's what she called project, which are art and craft mostly. So and there's stuff like recipes, like this first lesson has cookie dough Roman pillar, and you can build pillars with cookie dough. Eat like a Roman soldier. So how would you cook a dinner? And then there's an art project about Roman Empire from the carpet view, how to make a flying carpet and stuff like that. And so it's quite interesting. And the second part of the book, in my book, I took it away. I don't know if you see it. And actually took everything away, and I created a folder for my son. And what it does is that there's always a map work, and that's also in the activity book. So usually the map work, they have to put either a name or color the river, and then there's some coloring pages. Like in the first part, there's like they have to color a barbarian. And then they have to color a flying carpet, because that's the idea. If they were a flying carpet and go all over Europe, what would the Roman Empire look like? So then they have the eagle of the Romans, and then laurel templates that they can use for their activity. And then it goes to chapter 2. And in this space, what I do with my student is they also have copy work. Where is it, Nathan? Oh, where's your copy work here? It should be here. So we usually have a page that we do copy work. So either you copy the narration exercise that's in this activity book, or you just or I dictate it to him. And what I do is I just put some line sheets at the back of it, and then we do this copy work, and we put it at the end of the chapter. I'm surprised that it's not there. Okay. I think we have done some. Anyway, so that's the idea. Doesn't matter. Oh, maybe it's a little bit. Oh, here it is. The copy work. So this is his copy work. And basically, I take the chapter part, the Nathan? And I take the narration exercise that's in the activity book, and what they do is that he just copies it, and if not, I'll just do you can just leave some words out, or you can do a dictation on it. So it's great exercise, and that's what we do. And then after that will be the end of class for today, and then I'll make dinner. So this is the end of our day in the life of a homeschooler. This is an odd day because we had 2 doctor's appointments. Well, 1 doctor's appointment and 1 dentist appointment. Usually we do math in the morning, and after our first read aloud we do math, and then we do all the rest of the day. So I might do another video about our planning, our weekly planning, and how I schedule all our activity. I found out that there's different way of doing homeschooling planning. Some people do 1 subject a morning or 1 subject an afternoon, and they separate their week like that. Some do time. They work with post-it and all that. So I can show you a different way of doing time scheduling for homeschooling, which is pretty cool. So I work on that and I'll get back to you soon. So have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed that video. Give me some thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you can. And don't forget your notification bell somewhere around there to subscribe to the video and to know when a new video is posted. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.